Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you so much for dropping by. I heard a phrase in the 12 steps, in the 12-step rooms that they say, I had a God-sized hole in my heart, meaning that there was a longing or an urge that only in the 12-step vernacular or in the theistic vernacular, that only God could fill. And that an addict was an example of someone who had tried everything else except God to the extreme to fill this hole in one's heart. And so those of you familiar with my channel, I've been sort of theistically oriented, and I'm putting that aside for now and really exploring the world through Buddhist eyes. But I believe the same idea applies with a slight tweak, is that we all have a Buddha-sized hole in our heart. More accurately, from the Mahayana Buddhist point of view, we have infinite joy, love, bliss, perfection inside of us. And not just we have it, that's what we are. And anything less than that is going to be dissatisfying. I think that's why samsara is so dissatisfying, is because inside of us is a little sliver of nirvana, or maybe a connection with Dharmakaya, that lives inside of us, and everything else just falls kind of short. But yet we're not aware of that. And so we keep seeking nirvana. We keep seeking Buddha nature. We keep seeking Buddhahood everywhere where it is not to be found. And for myself, I was personally seeking it a lot through self-help and through self-improvement. And while there were definitely some benefits to that and some good things and some good learning, ultimately it fell short because all forms of self-improvement are not infinite. Even when I grew, then there's just so much massive karma which would drag me back down. And even if I did, let's say, this onward upward progression, which is a myth, who really has ever experienced that? But let's say such a thing were possible, there's still impermanence and death. So it's like a lifetime of growth and then death. And then everything, I lose everything. Certainly I'd continue to, the good tendencies would stay with me, but in my next lifetime, I might not even be reborn as a human. Or in my next lifetime, there's always the possibility of retrogression. It could be a whole lifetime of growth and then a very bad choice to where you could lose all of that growth. And that's why I really agree with Paul Roberts that it's Buddhahood or bust. That it's achieving something permanent. And what around us is permanent. And this brings us back to what Paul Roberts calls the first pillar of Shin Buddhism, which is really the pillar of Buddhism, period, which is to awaken the aspiration for Buddhahood. To reflect on, no matter what we do here, no matter how virtuous, whether it be self-improvement or art or helping others, all those things are good, and I'm not trying to discourage anyone from doing those things. And none of those things are going to satisfy this longing we have. And paradoxically, the longing is for that which we truly are underneath it all, for our Buddha nature. So that's been coming to me very strongly today, and I hope it's of help to others. Namo Amida Butsu.